What are you actually doing in your quote or your bid documentation to actually make you stand out from the crowd? Because it's absolutely critically important. Hey team, Tony from Profitable Tradie. Now we work with the owners of plumbing, electrical and similar service business owners to help them make more profit, put better systems and processes in their business and just make life and business a whole lot more fun. So today I want to talk about sales, and specifically I want to talk about quotes or bids. Now, if you're running a plumbing or electrical or a similar tradie-based business, obviously quoting, putting bids in is a big part of the work we do, and it takes a crash load of time. You've got to put the price together, sometimes talk to suppliers, get material prices, do some takeoffs, estimate stuff, and it takes a lot of work. And then you've got to follow the quote up and try and get the client across the line. So here's the thing, you can spend a lot of time doing work that you never ever get paid for. And whilst pricing is a big job, the time wasted if you're not successful is a massive cost that often you as a business owner don't estimate, don't even understand how detrimental that is to your business and what you could do with that time if you actually could do something productive with it, that time that you've lost. So today I want to talk about how to make that quote work. Now, when you put a quote or a bid in, here's what most people do. They just write, here's my price, and this quote or bid is valid for 30 days, for example. It's pretty vanilla, and then there's got a bunch of specifications in the document as well. Now here's the challenge with that, or the problem is, that's pretty much what everyone does, and that means that when the client is looking at the quotes or the paperwork of the bid, they pretty much just compare you on price, because that's all that you're talking about in your bid. So here's what we want to do. We want to actually turn our quote or our bid, we want to turn that into a sales letter. Or put another way, we want to make it a piece of marketing material that really sells the service or the solution that you're proposing. Now the thing is this, in your quote, when you turn it into sales letter, you want to actually make it full of reasons why to choose you. That's absolutely crucial. So we call it reason why copy. Why should the client use you over someone else in your area, another service provider? And there's a bunch of stuff you can do here. So the first thing is you want to tell them to think about the differences. So you can say something like this. Hey, I've noticed that other, say, plumbing companies tend to just do a quote. That is, they just give you a price and that's all. Now, as if price was the only thing worth thinking about. So you can lead off with that. So you're actually starting to open the client's mind to think about some other stuff. Here's some other stuff that you might want to include in your quote or your bid or your sales letter. First thing is, make them aware of some of the differences that you provide. For example, do you have a quality assurance program? Because you mentioned that in your sales letter. That'll help them ask questions of the other people. Have they got it? Do you have a guarantee? Do you have a health and safety policy? Do you have regular communication over the project? Do you belong to an industry association like a Master Plumbers or Master Electricians? Do you give a firm start and finish date and good honest communication? Do you provide references? And do you write down actually how much experience you and your team have got in doing this type of work? Now in the quote, you might not be able to see this, but you can even put in an example of some of your quality assurance process, some of the systems and processes that you use to stand out from the crowd. Now when they read this, what happens, the client's like, hey, wow, this is totally different to anything else I've seen. Maybe I should ask the other service providers if they do this stuff as well. And by actually opening the question in the client's mind, they'll actually come to recognize that your option is actually the quality option. So just think about this when you're doing your next quotes and bids. What are you actually doing in your quote or your bid documentation to actually make you stand out from the crowd? Because it's absolutely critically important. Now here's what happens. A couple of really quick examples. So Jamie went from converting at 38% to 53% by turning his quote into a sales letter. Neil went from 62% to 78% by turning his quote into a sales letter. So what I want you to do is measure your conversion rate now, how many wins you get from your quotes. Try something different with your quotes and then measure the result after that. You'll find that it'll go up. It'll save you a lot of time, make you a whole lot more money. Now I hope you found this helpful. Take good care. We'll talk again soon.